And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there, cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Cabot,
Where did he come from?
Here
comes Dweck.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man, Winston Auto Club.
For another great season. We're here live at the Darlington Motor Speedway in South Carolina for the Bluegrass Xfinity Series presented live on V-Speed. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and alongside tonight, producing, pushing the buttons, and co-commentary, we have Morgan Cook up here in the V-Speed booth. And Morgan, we bring up the points bracket. We're talking about 4 drivers here that are going to be looking at the final 2 races at Martinsville. We have our cutoff. We've talked about how tight it is between Alex Penn and David Farmer, but this top 4 is really what it's going to be about at Martinsville. So tonight's going to dictate that.
Yeah, it could really go either way between those top 2. It's really going to depend on who can tame the Lady in Black.
Lady in Black, as it's been known, in the Darlington Stripe. A few of these guys have already gotten it during practice, and as we set up to grid down there on the track, we have some of the drivers that are in this top 4, on the grid here tonight. And Michael Kostick right there on the edge, sitting just outside, so he's going to have a good night here tonight as well. We've got the 84 machine of David Farmer starting on the pole here tonight, with Michael Kostick in the second position, just on the outside. Third position is Daniel Cunningham. James Silver's still not out on the grid. Row number 3 will belong to Alex Penn. Andy Kurtz in 6th. 7th, Justin Ray. Tony Iverson will be in the 8th spot. Rounding out that top 10 here tonight will be Scott Fritz in the 01 with Jimmy Allen in the 99. So bringing on through the field, Lucas Lyons, Brian Terry, Michael Cole in the number 67. So only 13 cars are going to make the grid here tonight. The 84 rolls it down. And I don't know how much experience these guys have at this place, but me personally, I am not a fan of this track. The tight grooves, the high, narrow outside line that you have to run. You're next to the wall every single lap. You cannot afford a mistake. Turn 2 exit's going to be dangerous. We've seen during practice, like I said before, a lot of these guys will get stuck up there on that outside wall. They'll catch the Darlington Stripe, as it's been known, and it's very easy to knock the fenders. These cars with the new damage model, a little more resilient, so they can go a little bit further, but we've got a long way to go here tonight for 158 laps. The 84 of David Farmer going to lead them into turn 1. The number 8 of Michael Kostick on the outside. 08 of Cunningham, Silvers, and Penn into the Geico restart zone for the inaugural start. Race number 4 underway. The Bluegrass Xfinity Series is live at Darlington. Start there for the number 84. He's going to lead that number 1. That is David Farmer. Michael Kostek trying to keep pace with him. Tony Iverson, Scott Fritz, Daniel Cunningham. Timing and scoring a little bit confused here. I have some duplicate numbers, but outside of that, we have a finish on the race name up there on the screen. We're getting through it. I'm gonna bring up your ticker on the left side of your screen now. Kostek falling back a little bit to the leader, David Farmer. Iverson just a few tenths back from that.
Looks like we're having some sort of ticker malfunction here, so we're going to try and fix that behind the scenes. Until then, we got them all in front of us right here. Pretty good racing here through turn 2.
Yeah, cluster of cars back there from about 4th position on back. James Silver's under fire in the 33. That's the number 30 of Alex Penn on his back bumper. And mine too, also having some issues here with the telemetry. We loaded the session as perfect as we could. iRacing does not like to skip sessions. Not a lot of side-by-side through the racetrack right now. And then, you know, sometimes it just takes a good old restart of our overlays to make that happen. But we'll make it work. Sometimes things just get a little confused. Up here at the lead, though, the 84 of David Farmer. He's taken over about 0.3 of a second over the 8 of Kostek, who's right there on that cutoff line before we go into Martinsville. And I've watched a lot of Cup Series racing. Kostek here on Wednesday, and this, replaying this in a live format, but on the Wednesday nights, he does a phenomenal job at the Cup Series. He is very good at getting around the Darlington Speedway. And that's part of the reason why he's got that yellow banner up on top of that car for this week. Struggling a little bit, though, to keep pace with the 84 of Farmer, who is also one of the top premier drivers in the Cup Series that we broadcast on Wednesday nights. So a little one-off here for us tonight, but joined here tonight with our new producer here at V-Speed, Morgan Cook. And Morgan, Darlington, it's one of those tracks that you either love it or you hate it. A lot of people dread coming here. I'm part of that list. What is your opinion on this racetrack?
Favorite track on the service. I love this place. Between throwing into the corners and having it slide up in the center and using the throttle to get it to turn, you can stick a different line in 3 and 4 than everyone else to really get that good drive off and squirt the throttle through the center. I love that this is the driver's racetrack. There is no track on the circuit that the driver determines how the race goes as much as Darlington Motor Speedway.
Track position so important as well. Qualifying up front, you can see the clean air from Farmer as he moves out another couple tenths on Kostek. Iverson on back here. We're going a little bit deeper in the field with the 24 car, and I know our like I said, our ticker having some problems, but if we could get a quick wipe of ATVO and just start it over again, I think that would probably help. I don't know. We'll have to see. A little bit of side-by-side back there. That was, I believe, Alex. No, not Alex Penn. Hard for me to find cars. I'm going to do the same thing with my ATVO and see if that figures it out. These guys are sitting about, I'm going to say lap 8 or 9 as we get a restart back on the overlays. Oh, and some contact back here. The 67 car gets into the 13. They keep it clean and green, though. The 15 car back in the pace. Telemetry may be fixed now. I know we're sitting on lap. Well, I don't exactly know what lap, but we're on a lap. Still giving me a finish, but at least I'm getting distance between the leaders Michael Kostick 0.4 of a second back from David Farmer. Daniel Cunningham in third. Alex Penn fourth. So our ticker should work again. We do have that after the restart. So we're back to it on that. We have distance. That's important. So I was going back to Brian Terry. He actually gets into the side of Michael Cole. That happened a couple laps ago, but since then, these guys have fallen back over 4 seconds for Brian Terry. And it looks like Michael Cole is 11.5 seconds back. Having a connection issue there for the 67. Daniel Cunningham in third. The top four really, have split off from James Silvers and Andy Kurtz. They've pulled away a little ways. Lucas Lyons back to 11th here.
Caught the fence a little bit there off of 2. Super easy to do, but that's where all the speed in the lap comes from. You got to maximize that turn 2 exit.
And you can go on board there with the 25. You can see how tight these corners are to exit. You're pretty much on the seat of your pants every time you press that throttle. And that's where I struggle, I think, the most, is that when I come off these corners, I can't really tell and judge that I'm not going to hit the wall because I'm already close to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really difficult here, and we'll get a really good shot of him going into turn 3. I like to stick it right around that dotted line at the bottom there. I feel like I wear the tire too much by sliding up the track, but you want to get that nice diamond off the corner, get the throttle down, and make this straightaway long. Let's go here into 1 and 2, see what he's doing. Clip that apron, up to the fence, pick it up right now. Accelerate, lift. Don't touch that apron, and then wide open off the corner. Try not to hit the wall, and that's how you go around Darlington. Pretty good.
Battle for the lead heating up while we were on board there with the 25 rather. 84 David Farmer a little bit under fire. You can see it's tightened up here in the top 2, have branched off about 7/10 of a second over Michael Kostick with Daniel Cunningham. It looked like there was going to be a pass for the lead there for a moment, but Farmer has since turned the heat back up and pulled away.
This is a good battle here. I believe these were the top 2 of the points, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Bradley?
Yeah, well, Kostick, I think, is right there on the edge.
Okay.
And if I remember right on those points, yeah, Michael Kostick sitting 5th. So he's right there on the edge of the cutoff. He has to have a good night tonight. He's at 1 point out from James Allen. And Allen not making the grid. Well, actually, he's in the 8th position. So he did actually make the grid. He was one of those cars that didn't show up there at first. I was worried about him making it out on the track. But right now, as it sits, Kostick is going to make the top 4 cutoff if it finished the way it finishes right now.
Yeah, and he is putting all of the pressure on our leader, the 84 car. He gets really good runs off of turn 2. See if he gets another one right here. Gap is even down the back. We'll see if he can do something special into turn 3.
And as we were talking about that, the 99 of Allen actually made a pass. So it's actually Jimmy Allen there, and so James Allen is the label. I'm not sure if that is the same people, because I'm not seeing a James Allen anywhere on this racetrack. I'm curious to see if that's correct. Maybe my points are wrong. I don't know. This could be embarrassing. But, yeah, I'm seeing a James Allen 4th in points here, 41 points back in the 4th position. Daniel Cunningham 3rd. David Farmer trying to take away the lead from Alex Penn, who is in the 4th position. And, you know, the 30 car, he's had a quiet night so far. He started in 5th. He's only gained 1 spot and now finds himself about 7/10 of a second back from your leaders.
Here's what he's seeing out the windshield right now, trying to chase down that 08 car in front of him. Be really gentle through turn 3 and 4 to not scrub the tires too much. It looks like he is closing in a little bit on that third place runner right now.
And it's so tough to judge if you're overdriving your stuff. And we talk about Farmer. He's been pretty much clinical when it comes to leading laps and leading races. But here at Darlington, it's very easy to overdrive your stuff. That clean air makes you feel like king. Next thing you know, you're in the outside wall because that right front has just scrubbed the speed off.
You mentioned clean air. The 84's got it. The 8 car wants it. I'm surprised how well the 8's able to run in the tire tracks of the 84. There is only really one line around this place. You can make a couple in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, you got what you got. And he's keeping pace really well right now, that 8 car of Caustic.
As long as he can keep the pressure on the back of Farmer, just stay in his mirror, try to fill it up as much as he can, maybe force a mistake. That's probably the only way that he's going to get around the 84 right now. And like you said, in the tire tracks, that's got to be wearing out the tires. That aerodynamic bubble that just sits probably within about 3/10 of the car in front of you as he starts to inch even closer and really close to the turn 2 exit wall for Caustic. But he's keeping the 84 Farmer honest, and that's what you have to do at Darlington. You have to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, it's a really interesting racetrack in a way that if you run side by side, that third place car will be on you in 2 laps. If you're going to make a pass, you have to cooperate with each other, where the car in the front has to basically give the spot up to the car behind to avoid going side by side into turn 1 or coming off of turn 4. If you do that, you'll just lose all your momentum, and all of a sudden it's a 3-way battle for the lead.
We had Caustic get a little bit into the wall there on the exit of 2, and he lost a little bit of ground. So now the pressure off of Farmer for the time being. Working our way back deeper into the field. It looks like Jimmy Allen's starting to catch up to James Silvers for the 5th spot. So he's working his way through, and again, I'm not 100%, but I want to say that being the only Allen, being that he's top 4 in points, he wouldn't miss this opportunity to come out here and race tonight. Alex Penn in the 4th position, 1.1 seconds now, and last time by, he was about 2/10 off of the lead cars. We're talking about a 31.5. Fastest car on the racetrack that time by? David Farmer in the 84.
Ooh, big time loose for that 99. Excellent save off of 2. That could get away from you in a hurry.
And he is still catching the 33 of Silvers, and you can see he's running a little bit higher line here coming into 3 and 4. He's going to get a big run off, but it get loose again off of 4. Almost gets to the side of the 33. As they shoot it down into 1, the 33 is using that apron. That's another thing that you can do at Darlington. You can use that apron to try to get some traction and get that car to rotate. Kind of break that right rear loose just to get it to steer down into the corner.
Ooh, that was just about a caution right there. The 99 expected 33 to go up the hill just a little bit, and the 33 did not. But they're side by side out of 4. And that's what I was talking about. You got to let that car go if you're side by side into 1, because you'll probably end up wadded up somewhere in the center if you're going to be side by side.
And if Silvers makes a mistake in front of the 99, they're both going to end up wadded up because he's tagging the apron. He's pretty much using all of the lanes that are available through the corners. The 99 doesn't have an opportunity to really check up. Here they come off of 4, now side by side with the nose.
There it is.
Like
There's a slide job.
going to get it. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Really send it down to the apron.
That's one way to do it here. 33 is not going to be happy, but that's one of those, if you're not happy about it, why don't you catch me sort of deals.
Fortunately, if you can make it through the first corner, you're pretty much set and sail. I know that the 99 didn't want to have to do that, but you saw what Silvers was doing with his entries. He was using that apron. and it was very difficult for the 99 to even poke the nose in there. So now for Allen, it's a matter of catching up to Alex Penn. Daniel Cunningham, the battle for the lead heats up a little bit. These guys are coming down pit road. So Farmer and Kostick going to be one of the first drivers to come down.
Looks like we got a whole bunch of the field here.
Cunningham's going to stay out. Alex Penn's out there as well. Lucas Lyons actually the first car, I think, to come down pit road based off of telemetry. Still back in the 13th place, but he's a little bit off pace here tonight. Now the 30 of Alex Penn.
30. Oh, this is going to be a land rush into pit road. You can't be too far behind the leaders who are currently in their pit stalls. That's not a good camera shot. My bad, guys. I'm learning.
I've found TV1 and TV2. They always do the best. Whoever's running those cameras through the week, they come prepared. But down pit road right now, you see the 08 hitting his stall. The 84 back out on the racetrack. The 8 of Kostick, they're going to cycle through back to the lead. And now Farmer works his way. You've got some of those guys that pitted the second round. Michael Cole's still out there on the racetrack, but looks like he just hit the outside wall there and got some right front damage. He will get a lap lead, though. So even after pit stops, Cole is only 11 seconds ahead of these guys. The 67 car has been having some connection issues here tonight. So a little bit of blinking in and out, and now as he locks it down to bring it down pit road, David Farmer is going to resume the lead with what I think, I'm afraid to bring that driver info up because it's going to show the total telemetry, but he's led every single lap since we've went green. And there you're going to get a little sneak peek at how many total laps led for this race. But yeah, Farmer doing a phenomenal job.
And the top two have gapped third place by looks like 3.5. Let's pull them up now. That's the 08 car going into turn 3. Yeah, it's about 3.5 back to third place. Another 4.8 to the fourth place car there, and then 6 seconds back to fifth. And then here's your gaggle of cars, 5, 6, 7, all fairly close together.
Yeah, James Silver, Jimmy Allen, Lucas Lyons. 25 car benefits a little bit from short pitting the rest of the field. First one down pit road was the 25. So he finds himself back up here in the top 10 in the 7th spot. A little bit of throwback Dale Jr. paint scheme on that 25. Andy Kurtz in the 88. It's looking like a Burger King throwback. Refresh my memory on who drove that car. Is that a Brian Vickers machine?
Could be. Could be. I was thinking even before that. I think Dale Jarrett drove something like that at some point. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, Brian Vickers may have piloted that Burger King machine, the flames down the side.
The top 10, we've got Farmer, Kostick, Cunningham, Penn, Allen, Silvers, Lyons, Kurtz, Fritz, and Iverson. And I think we've sorted out the vast majority of the bugs with doing this is actually my first time bringing a session off of a replay. I have to be honest there. And, you know, I think it's your first session altogether with broadcasting. So we picked a fine time to do it, right?
Yeah, we're working it out on the fly, so apologies to the viewership if anything seems a little out of the ordinary. It's because this is my first time doing this, so we'll get it figured out eventually.
He's doing a phenomenal job, though. And honestly, the production level right now, the frame rates, they look crispy, they look beautiful. And the 84 of David Farmer's lead stretches out to over half a second. As they go into turn one, that 84 car is set and sail. He knows what he has to do here tonight to take over that points lead. Look out, Alex Penn. He's going to take that 8-point lead and really shave it away. Going into Martinsville.
Yeah, this race definitely matters for the playoffs here, and you know, the cream is rising to the top, as they say. Yeah, this has been a really nice, clean race so far, and some really good quality Darlington driving.
So side by side back here, it looked like for a second Kurtz was actually okay. So timing and scoring confused me there. Never mind. We had a little blemish there with the telemetry, and the seventh place driver Lucas Lyons actually tagging the wall. So there it is. There's where the telemetry probably told me they're going to be really close going into 3 and 4. Now side by side.
25's in the
Contact
wall.
with the wall.
And there goes the 88.
So on around for Kurt's going to pick up another position, up to 7th. Lyons looked like he struggled a little bit on the long run before. I think that might have been part of the reason why he came down pit road early.
Just popped the wall again right there. It's getting worse before it gets better for that 25 car.
Once you start knocking that wall down, that means that the right front's probably already toast, and now he wall rides all the way through 3 and 4. Almost some contact there between him and Fritz as he goes by on the inside. That's what we were talking about earlier with Farmer and Kostick. If Farmer made a mistake with that pressure, and Alex Penn was passing, I believe, the 99 of Allen, you saw that if any one of those guys or Silvers would have made a mistake right in front of one of those cars, it really can be one of those fighter pilot moments for you where you just have to make an evasive move.
Yeah, and the problem with evasive moves at Darlington is we've mentioned it 3-4 times now, is that there's only one line here. So if you get off the line, especially in the middle of the corner, it's really difficult to make the exit without knocking down the fence. You just got to do your best here to try and maintain what you can maintain, control what you can control, and avoid the carnage.
Avoiding carnage, that's what it's really all about here at Darlington Motor Speedway. But so far, we've completed, well, telemetry has no idea how many laps, but I'm going to put it somewhere in the 30 range here tonight. David Farmer has led every single lap thus far. He's pulled out over half a second. Michael Kostick starting to shave a little bit of time off that lead. I say that, and then this time by, he's 0.2 slower.
Let's watch this 08 car work through lap traffic. Let's see what you have to do here when you're passing a slower car. So he's going to come up on him. Probably not going to get into the backstretch. It's all about setting up a pass here at Darlington. Using that apron to get the car rotated through the corner. He's going to get a really nice run off here. Here we go. Lap car did a pretty good job there. Not having a poor exit. But just look at how much they gain into the corner. Lap car's going to give the spot up really good on that 13 car. Brian Terry to just move over and let third place go on by.
Yeah, and that's aware of your surroundings. It's unfortunate that Terry does lose a lap and goes one lap down. But if they do have a caution, he will be the first car a lap down. The 67 of Michael Cole is about 23 seconds back. So Terry, as long as he can maintain this here, He might remain one of the only guys to go a lap down. Tony Iverson is in the 11th position. He's still got about half a track before he would lose a lap. So Brian Terry praying that he can get back on the lead lap. But it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Iverson did just go a lap down here. It looks like your timing is a little bit off. 24 just went a lap down. And now Lyons is not terribly far away from that 84 car. Oh, sorry, that's Cole. So Cole will be going 2 laps down here shortly if everything stays the way it is. Iverson and Terry are the only 2 cars 1 lap down.
Gotta love telemetry. We need
When it
these
works,
tools,
it's awesome.
ATVO. Oh yeah, when it works, it's on point. But when you set the replay and ATVO tries to load, sometimes they get a little confused, and so we sit here, we deal with it. We know that it says finish up there on the screen, but we still got a lot of laps left to go. We're probably hovering somewhere in the 50 lap range right now. I've actually messaged and tried to get some details to see if we can fix and resolve this issue.
And there goes the 84 of Farmer past the lap car. There goes 8 of Caustic, also past the 67 of Cole. The top 2 have not really separated from each other, although they have driven handily away from the field. They're about 4 seconds up on 3rd place Cunningham, 5.5 on Penn, and 7.5 on Allen. That's your top 5. Farmer, Caustic, Cunningham, Penn, and Allen in the top 5.
And again, going back to what Alex Penn has to do here tonight. We talked about the points in pre-race. Penn is 8 points ahead of your race leader, David Farmer. And based off tonight, going into Martinsville, Farmer is going to have what appears to be a lap lead, definitely, but most laps led. That's another statistic that Farmer is going to have a bonus point for that. Then you go 4 positions ahead, or 3 positions rather. Penn's going to have to catch up to Cunningham to mitigate this damage. And he has a little bit of ground to make up. It's less than a second. But Alex Penn here tonight at Darlington looks like he's going to lose a little bit of that points lead. Barring no more mistakes or any problems happening to any of these drivers, because he is working his way up close to what appears to be Michael Cole right now, or maybe that's the 24 of Iverson. You know, anything can happen here. We still got a lot of racing left to go. As you see the 24 check up a little bit there for a brief moment. It's going to be one of those things where he just got to mitigate the damage and not get into a situation.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you got to avoid the chaos, avoid the carnage, and the easiest way to do that is to not be the carnage yourself. Control what you can control. You know, Darlington is as much about logging laps as any track I've ever been on, where you just have to continually hit your marks, hit your line every time, and if you happen to be faster than the guy in front of you, you'll get there. You'll creep up to him, and don't worry about it too much. We're still early in this race. There's really nothing to push for right now. You can't win the race at this lap.
I do have an official lap count for you. We are 55 laps into this race. 56 now as I cross the line. So I can give you that update.
All right, so we're about a third of the way through this race. Everyone's pitted once. Leads me to believe the window's about 40 laps is what they pit on the first time. So we'll see how that works out going forward.
Yeah, this limited tire sets in this league as well. So I'm going to be honest with you. I did not do that research before we got into this session, but the typical race session has 3 sets of tires. And that, doesn't include the set that's on the cars. So 4 total. These guys are probably going to have to skip a stint here. If they're at 40, they might, if they have a caution, that could pay off. So one of these guys might have an extra set.
I don't know how much I'd want to gamble on tires here, Bradley. With how bad the fall off is, if you're caught without tires, if you're trying to save for that last stint, and it's been green so far, you could find yourself a lap down or two very quickly, just because you're going to be 2, 3, 4 seconds a lap slower per lap.
Yeah. And I guess that gamble probably would go for guys that are outside the top 5 right now, finding themselves 10, 15 seconds back. They probably could afford that gamble. Because really, there's not much further that you could lose to the leader, really. You stand to gain more than you lose. I think that would probably be the only way I could rationalize that. But, you know, strategies for these guys, we've seen it in other leagues that we broadcast here on V-Speed, where a 2-tire call just to get out of the pits a little earlier than the leaders and hold them off in that green-white checker, or having that extra set because there's a caution, running an entire race caution-free until the last 10 laps, and then that guy that didn't take that last set of tires, has him in the bank, ends up finishing top 3 when he had a 10th place car the whole night.
Oh, we have a battle here on the front stretch. 24 just got moved out of the way. 01 and 88 side by side into 1. 88 prevails. That was close. That was just about a big one on the front stretch here.
Almost taking it 3 wide there at one point with the 24, and that's Tony Iverson. He's been pretty courteous to these lead lap cars, letting them by, but I think the timing with where they were entering the corner just wasn't working out. Now the 88 gets a little loose in 3 and 4. The 01 going to pass him back up.
Yeah, there was a little bit of help there. The 01 was using the chrome horn a little bit. That's how you have to pass here sometimes. Sometimes you just have to use that front bumper and move him out of the way.
Now it looks like the 01. We got a yellow here out on the track somewhere. Not exactly sure where that started, but we are coming down pit road with the 84 car. I mean, we were kind of flirting with disaster with what happened there with Tony Iverson and Scott Fritz, Sandy Kurtz, those guys going back and forth. But to lead them down pit road, David Farmer for the first caution of the night. This is going to bail out a couple drivers for some waiver rounds. Tony Iverson, Brian Terry, I think were both a lap down. They're going to get back on the lead lap. So that helps out. We were kind of approaching where the top 10 was at threat to go a lap down.
And the 84 was putting a clinic on the field. He's going to win the race off pit road. They're going to come out exactly as they came in. That's why you build that lead during the green flag run. Can't lose it when you come in 10 seconds ahead of the next car. Yeah, here we go. We're going to re-rack them and go green again.
So for all of you that are a part of the Bluegrass Xfinity series, they go live racing at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're currently working out the logistics of getting some broadcasting going to get the live stream up for Bluegrass TV. And we're looking at probably Martinsville. We might be able to get that situation worked out. But for now, we're doing live replay broadcasting. The 84 of David Farmer. He's had a dominant race thus far. He's led 63 laps here tonight. Michael Kostick, Daniel Cunningham, Alex Penn, James Silver's the top 5. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We tend to do that here on iRacing for some cautions, so we're going to do that. And we'll be back live on V-Speed right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a iRace or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live on V-Speed, the Bluegrass Xfinity Series at Darlington Raceway. David Farmer, Michael Kostick. Farmer going to start and elect on the outside. Leader has that lane choice as they get ready to go back green. David Farmer has led 64 laps thus far. Kostick has kept him in check. He's stayed within a second of him for the vast majority of this race. But guys like Alex Penn, Daniel Cunningham, they're finding themselves struggling a little bit there with the long run speed. After those green flag pit stops, we had a caution on about lap 60, and I don't know exactly the details of what car spun out to bring that yellow out. But here we go to the Geico restart zone to bring us back live. And back racing for the second time here tonight. David Farmer with an excellent restart pulls away from Alex Penn and Michael Kostick. Great run into one. Side by side back there for fourth position. That looks like Cunningham and Jimmy Allen. Little move there by Silvers as he gets out of the groove. He's alongside Andy Kurtz.
Good catch on that slide. There. Oh, he is super free right now. Oh, man. Good save, though.
Gets back up in line now. The 01 of Fritz is going to look to the inside. Cold tires. That's what you dread when you're coming out here on a restart, is you get someone to your inside. You don't have the heat in those tires to really hold yourself up there, and you end up losing 3 or 4 positions. That's what happened to James Silvers there.
This is a really difficult track for restarts because the line that you want changes in each corner. So if you get stuck in a line that you don't want, it's really difficult to file back in single file to regain yourself.
Yeah, you have to be careful with pretty much any move you make at this racetrack, as you see looks like Tony Iverson going by on the inside of Lucas Lyons. And remember, Iverson's still 1 lap down. He did get a wave around to get one of those back. Brian Terry, who was letting cars by a moment ago, back on the lead lap into 10th position. But the top 4 kind of branched out here from Jimmy Allen to Daniel Cunningham. They've got a bit of a gap, and now side by side here for the 3rd spot. Alex Penn, who's trying to mitigate that damage. He finds himself up into the top 3, trying to hunt down the 84 Farmer. Your points leader trying to get back up there to the lead. 8-point deficit. That's so tight going into Martinsville, which is really a coin toss.
You think this place has lots of chaos. Just wait a week. Martinsville, you can find yourself in somebody else's problem very, very quickly with 20-second lap times.
I like to equate it to installing more RAM in your computer. That's how I run Martinsville. Just got to use the bumper. That's really the only way, because guys will run that bottom tight down on the inside. You can't really pass on the outside unless they get loose. You have to move them up out of the groove. And for a lot of these guys, the relationships that they might have developed during the course of this season, all of that goes out the window. Really easy place to gain enemies.
Yeah, short track racing at its finest at Martinsville. 8 cars in the fence.
Oh, 84 hit the wall as well. David Farmer, I think Kostick followed him up there. They've been running identical lines for the vast majority of this race. And that's why Kostick's probably been able to keep pace with the 84, because they're one of the 2 that are actually running down on that white line in 3 and 4. That actually allowed Alex Penn to catch up a little bit here with Jimmy Allen behind. They shaved the lead down about 3/10 that lap. Farmer's just really consistent here tonight, and that's probably part of the reason why he's led every single lap. He's qualified up in the pole. He put it in the right position at the right time to get around Caustic and give him that dirty air for lap 1, and he's been perfect on green flag pit stops. He's no mistakes here tonight for Farmer.
Very David Pearson-esque out there right now. Hasn't put a tire wrong this entire race.
It's funny that we're talking about Pearson. I actually was watching, and I talked to you about that pre-race. The 1970 Southern 500, won by Buddy Baker. And the highlights, I tell you, they don't make sideburns like they used to. Richard Petty's sideburns. Incredible. I don't even think I can grow that.
I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
So Alex Penn looked like he had some problems, but the 99 of Jimmy Allen also same issues. Those guys both tagged the wall, and they're starting to lose the ground to Caustic again. So it's more of the same. The top two start to check out a little bit. They'll probably stretch that gap to over a second. And then it's going to be a matter of what Penn and Allen can do. Alex has pretty much mitigated that damage. I believe right now, the finishing order, he would retain that lead. But if he loses a couple more spots, I think he'll lose it, because most laps led here to Farmer, that should be enough if he can get that gap of 5 positions over Alex Penn. It's since quieted down a little bit here. You have James Silvers, looks like he's struggling here on the second run. Silvers was up in the top 5 to start this race. He's since fallen back to 7th. And the cold tires on that restart look like probably played most of the factor for his current position.
This is a track position racetrack as much as any other. It's just really, really hard to pass here. So once you find yourself losing spots on a restart, I think he went -3 or 4. It's just difficult to pass people back. You got to wait for that long run, the tires to stop equalizing, and then you can try and march your way forward. Not the case yet for the 33.
Yeah, and then, slide through those corners. That probably gave a little bit more wear as you see the 01 of Fritz go to the inside. A little pinch there on the exit of 4. Silvers on the outside in turn 4. Not where I want to be, but he did a fine job holding it up there. And now still side by side into 1 and 2. The 01 uses that apron to slide up in front. And now another position loss for James Silvers, back to 8th.
All you can do if you're the 33 is just remain patient and just try and log laps, don't hurt the tires, and hopefully at the end of this run you'll start working forward. But right now you just got to stay smooth, stay consistent.
24 of Tony Iverson just behind them, and I mean, factor in Justin Ray, he's 7 seconds back, Terry 9 seconds back. Some of these drivers having some struggles tonight. But really, first through 6th, probably back to 7th. They haven't really lost the leaders like they did on that first run. Oh, side by side again there with a 30 of Alex Penn. They went into turn 1 tight. And actually put him up against the wall there as they entered 1. And maybe Jimmy Allen got some damage from that. I don't think there is any. Trying to see a good angle in that car. If there is any, it's minor, but yeah, Penn did not give him any room going into 1 there.
That's just typical Darlington. Patience wears thin pretty quick, and you can tell the 30 car is holding up this group behind them. You don't get nose to tail at Darlington if there isn't a slow car involved. And yeah, 99 is doing everything he can to get around this 30 car.
And on that gearbox camera, if you look back from the 30 car, watch how good of a run this 99 car is going to get off of 4. He actually gets side by side back to the inside here And contact.
There goes the bumper cover.
That's actually the first time I've ever seen that. That was not fastened on properly.
Didn't affect the spoiler at all. Just peeled the bumper cover right off. That's a new one for me.
He doesn't need it. That car just got lighter. Let's see if he can pull away now from Alex Penn. He's going to fall back in line. And it looks like the 99 car, sheet metal and all, is going to take over the third spot. Lap 83 in the books here at Darlington.
We talk
You're
about
watching
how
the Bluegrass. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So you talk about how running side by side causes issues. These 5 cars were separated by seconds before. Now you could throw a blanket over every one of them.
Yep. From 7th place forward, all tightened back up. 3rd place, Jimmy Allen without the rear bumper. And man, is that the weirdest thing you've ever seen? I mean, I've seen some stuff, but that one right there, it just shot off like it had plastic explosives. It just detonated.
Yeah, that's definitely the first time I've seen that, and it might be the last. We'll see.
Personal experience with the new damage models, the tire telemetry, all the things that iRacing is doing to make the service better and more realistic. Sometimes creates little bugs, little gremlins, and that's probably one of them. Personally, for me, it was the outer space objects for the B car, where the tire model would cause damage and slingshot the car into basically orbit. I have some replay of that footage. It's incredible when it happens. They've since fixed that one though. I'm sure they'll iron out the wrinkles. So check back in with your leader here. The 84 has gotten back to that half-second lead over Michael Kostek. These guys have checked out over 3 seconds. And Jimmy Allen looking good. I think he's going to start pulling away from this pack of cars. Alex Penn, though, is going to be under fire here very soon. Daniel Cunningham keeps peeking to that inside. Remember, Cunningham was one of those guys that was in the top 5 for his first stint, and then after green flag pit stops, he lost some time. We bunched the field back up after that caution, and now he has a chance to recover those positions. He just has to get around the 30 car, and that's been a struggle here. For pretty much everyone 4th place on back, they're still trying to figure it out. The 88 gets really loose off of 4. Side by side now with him and Scott Fritz on the outside. There's a little pinch down there in the middle of 1 and 2.
They are battling tight back here. Definitely.
When it just goes back to what you're saying about track position, so important. These guys are still relatively early in this race. You know, we're just approached that, or we passed that halfway point. They still have some green flag pit stops, but you know, the opportunity to pass doesn't present itself very often here. And when it does, if you get that run, you have to be aggressive. You have to go for it. As you see the 08 of Daniel Cunningham on the outside of Alex Penn, that's the opportunity he was looking for. And now going to get a run into 1 and 2. Let's see if he can complete it. The 01 of Scott Fritz going to follow suit. And almost some contact there. The 30 of Penn's going to lose 3 spots now.
Yeah, pretty much worst case scenario for that 30 car.
Yeah, he got freight trained. And now this is a situation where the points lead. Alex Penn's far enough back that David Farmer could take it over. I don't foresee Farmer having any issues. He's been perfect tonight. And, you know, Kostek's kept him honest within half a second. It's going to take a pit road mistake, I think, for the 84.
Either pit road or a tangle with a lap car. That's all I could really think of that would derail this 84 right now. I mean, just on rails.
Yeah, he's been perfect every single lap. Running a little bit different line than the 8 car now. As this track starts to rubber up, you've got to kind of adapt and change. Dynamic track data, dynamic tire data, all in part of the sim.
Battle for third right now. Oh, 99's in the fence. Big time off of 4. That's going to hurt. Looks like he's going to lose a spot or two here. Here comes the 01. Not quite going to get the spot on him. But yeah, that 99 popped the wall pretty good out of turn 4. That's going to be some probably right front suspension damage. Ooh, leader's pitting.
Yeah, we had James Silvers come down first. Now David Farmer coming down pit road. So Caustic's going to get by and lead a lap. He's going to stay out an extra. This might be part of the opportunity for Caustic to keep Farmer's pressure up. 1 lap extra. I don't foresee the 8 car staying out much longer than that.
Oh, he's headed down to pit road as we speak. Maybe not. Yes, he is taking that dive to pit road. The very difficult pit road to get onto here. Right down on the flat. Looks like he's going to get there just fine. Going to be interesting the blend between the 8 and the 84. See where the 84 comes up.
Farmer now getting right sides put on. And hey, this is one of the few times we have an opportunity to see the pit crew for the 84. And we missed it. It's okay. But it is unusual. We loaded the telemetry off of David Farmer's replay here, and so we never see pit crews in the iRacing realm for replays when we're broadcasting here on V-Speed. So as you can see right there with Caustic right in front of him, you see the 84's pit crew. I would like them to implement that, even if there was a way that they can make it really simplified, just to show an animation. I think that would be a nice addition outside of all the other things they add to this service. We need full course pit crews. I don't care about my my frames per second when I'm in a replay. .38 of Justin Ray stayed out long enough to lead a lap. So now he comes down pit road. Michael Caustic cycles out to the lead. The Caustic's able to get it done. I mean, he did what he needed to do down pit road. He was about half a second faster in pit lane, 0.3 faster in the box. And that doesn't include the speed that he came into pit road down on the flat. So shaved away enough time that they were within a half a second going in. He comes out 0.2 ahead of David Farmer. And now it's just going to be a matter of can Farmer pass him back.
Yeah, we haven't seen the 84 anywhere but the lead so far in this race other than on the green flag cycles. So how does he work around the 8? Can he work around the 8? Looks like we got some lap traffic here to work through first, the 24 car. See if that has something to do with it.
Yeah, no dirty air for the 84 Farmer at all tonight. So this is all uncharted territory as we approach lap 100. We're going to have one more set of green flag pit stops. The 24 of Iverson hits the outside wall right in front of the leaders. And now the 84 Farmer brushes the wall. So that evasive maneuver causes the 84 car just before turn 3 to get a little damage.
Good news is iRacing did change this damage model to make it so these cars are pretty robust. They can take a licking. So I don't think it's going to hurt them too much performance-wise, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
You do see that lead grow a little bit here as they go into 3 and 4. Let's see the run off the corner. Looks like 0.4 of a second, so maybe a little bit hindering the 84 Farmer, and that is unfortunate because he looked like the car to beat all night long. Kostick now starting to try to stretch that lead. Now to 0.5 second down the backstretch. You know, Kostick's one of those drivers that also has a lot here, and he's got to perform if he wants that top 4 in points. James Silvers finds his way into the top 3, so some troubles for drivers like Jimmy Allen, who had already had problems out on the racetrack with some damage. Alex Penn finds himself back up into the top 3. So good news there for the 30. David Farmer loses the lead. Alex Penn is within 2 spots, so that's going to help him a little bit. Well, we've all cycled out for our second round of green flag pit stops. You're watching the Bluegrass Xfinity Series live on V-Speed. We're going to take another quick commercial break here and bring you uninterrupted coverage for the remainder right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live on V-Speed at Darlington Raceway. Michael Kostick takes over the lead after the second round of green flag pit stops. He leads David Farmer by almost a full second as they go into 1 and 2. Michael Kostick's going to try to finish out this race and do what David Farmer wishes he was going to do. He led enough laps. It looked like he was the car to beat, but that little mistake there, whether it was entering pit road, maybe missed the box, I don't exactly know. The 84 looked really clean all the way down pit road.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure because usually the second car to pit loses a bunch of time because they have the older tires and that the car that pitted first has the new tires, but that was not the case here. So really the interesting turn of events to have this 8 car out front and steadily driving away from the 84.
Yeah, and with this racetrack too, only being a 1.3 miles, you're able to pit within a lap of the leader, and he'll still be on pit road as you come down pit road. So that tire factor that you're mentioning is...
There's a crash.
Oh, contact.
There's a wreck.
13. That's a lap car of Brian Terry, and that allows David Farmer to catch back up.
And that's big right front damage, becoming a big left front damage here. Oh, no.
He pulls off the racetrack. The 8 car not happy.
How could you be? I mean, leading this race, driving away from the dominant car all day, and all wadded up.
A loss for words here on V-Speed. But if you're a fan of the 8 of Kostick, you probably feel exactly what we feel here on V-Speed. We're just at a loss for words. The right side of that 8 machine completely torn up. Heavy right front damage. Probably suspension problems. And the 8 of Kostick's going to come down for an unscheduled pit stop on lap 108. James Silvers is going to take over second position, but David Farmer catching a break there because the 8 of Kostick was checking out.
And that's shown to be the only car that had anything for the 84. They've never been more than, what, 1.25 seconds apart the entire race to this point. So, yeah, that's a big break for the 84 and a awful tough break for the 8 car.
You can see James Silvers and Daniel Cunningham starting to tighten up a little bit here for second position. But I just want to go back. That's you were saying it at the start of this race. Avoid everybody's chaos, and chaos found the 8 here tonight.
Yeah, that's just trying too hard to pass a lap car, right? There was, I mean, yes, you were going to lose some time if you stayed behind him, but you'd lose a lot less time than having to pit because you just destroyed the right side of the car. So, you know, risk reward, it's a tough deal, and I'm sure that won't happen again to him next time they're at Darlington.
Side by side here for second position, though. James Silvers, who had the struggles on the restart, had found himself back up in the second position, got on and off pit road, did a phenomenal job. Look at James Silvers' time there in the box. He actually had one of the shortest pit stops. Alex Penn, 13.9 seconds in the box. So some of these drivers that do a phenomenal job with pit road, they can find themselves back up here in the top 3. That's what James Silvers has managed to do. Alex Penn in the 4th position. Farmer going to resume the lead, and we I don't know, man. It's just one of those races you have to put behind you. We're going into the top 4. Caustic's gonna retire here. Maybe signing off for the championship hopes in the final 4.
Yeah, we've all been
he's
there.
Retired from the race. We've all been there.
We've all had those incidents, and the only thing you can do is forget about it. Move on to the next one. It wasn't intentional. Didn't get right reared, you know, on purpose. It just, he's tried to slide up where there wasn't a spot, and in the fence he went.
Yeah, we don't ever like to play the blame game. Both drivers, I'm sure, didn't mean it. And moving on to next week, we talked about it. We're going to be at Martinsville. If your feelings are hurt here at Darlington, there's plenty of places at Martinsville to get revenge.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a revenge-deserving incident. I mean, again, that's just a real unfortunate deal. Tried to pass a lap car and didn't have the room to do so. It is what it is. Move on to the next one. But Matt Farmer is checked out.
1.8 seconds over Daniel Cunningham. So we're on lap 115. We've got about 40, let's say 43 laps to go. Does that sound right?
Sounds good to me. I'm impressed with this 08 car. You've been talking about the 33, how every time there's a pit stop cycle, he works his way to the front. Well, every time there's a long run, this 08 works his way to the front. He was third on that first run. He got to third again on the second run, and here we are now. He's P2 with Caustic out of the race, and he is steadily chasing down our leader. Down to 1.6 seconds, the gap from 1 to 2.
And last time by a 31.5, pretty much, for David Farmer. Cunningham a 31.3. So 0.2 of a second a lap. He'll be at the back bumper of Farmer before they hit pit road this last time. And I'm going to be interested to see if anybody's going to short pit and come down with exactly 40 to go. I don't know exactly their stint. What was the laps that you said we were going down pit road? Right at 40?
Yeah, my estimate was about lap 40 is how long their runs were. Of course, I don't have the live timing, so it's hard to tell. But my guess is they're running about 40 laps per stint here. So we'll see.
David Farmer coming by to lead another lap, but the lead shaves down to 1.2 seconds as they go into 1 and 2. Daniel Cunningham on the move, and a new challenger. We're going to put a 0 in front of that 8. Living vicariously through Michael Kostick. Is Daniel Cunningham going to take over the lead? Or is David Farmer going to be able to hold on to this entirety of this race after catching a break there at a lap 1:04?
Don't look now, but that leads down to under a second. 84 had issues in 1 and 2 last time. Got up into the fence a little bit in the center. They're about to be in the same frame. There they are. Oh, 8's coming.
And remember, Farmer made that little mistake there that gave him damage, whether it was mitigated by the 8 car falling out of his way, but we haven't seen Farmer in dirty air. And during that entire second, well, I guess after the green flag pit stops, that other half of that run, since we took the green, Farmer was in dirty air with Kostick, and now add damage onto that. That right front tire's probably burned completely off. Now he's going to have pressure from the 08.
Yeah, call it half a second into turn 3. And you can just see the 8 close up on the entry into turn 3. It's 4.5. It's going to go down the straightaway here. Maybe 4/10 by the time they get to turn 1.
Beautiful shots here on the cameras presented on V-Speed. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single race. Bluegrass Cup Series also on Wednesday nights. We'll be bringing you that. VSRL on Mondays. We'll be doing that this evening at 9:10 Eastern Time. That's p.m. Hope you can join us there as well. And go check out V-Speed 2 and VSRN. Our amazing producer Eddie Smith doing a phenomenal job over there as well. And I would like to thank Morgan Cook for coming on board with the V-Speed team. Doing a phenomenal job here on his inaugural broadcast and our first broadcast of the Bluegrass Xfinity series. So outside of that, what is in store for us here for this finish? Morgan Cook, did you expect Daniel Cunningham to be part of this picture in the final laps of this race?
I mean, I said he was fast. I said he was coming. I didn't expect him to get there in under 10 laps. It seems like he's about a 10th and a half behind now. 84's aero blocking the best that he can, but it's going to be a tall task with that 08 behind him.
Been a phenomenal race thus far. Only one caution. We've ran so many laps thus far. We're on lap 125 as they cross the line. Daniel Cunningham is there. I think we're going to have a change for the lead within the next 5.
Especially if he keeps
Maybe
getting
right
through
now.
1 and 2 like that. Oh, man, what a drive. Big run off the corner here. Gonna lose a little ground
He cut
actually
him a
to the
break
84.
there. Down pit road here for David Farmer now. I think he saw that car was not, it was just not going to keep up. If the 08 of Cunningham passed him, there was no point in staying out there. He needs fresh tires. He's going to start the cycle, and I think you're going to see the 08 follow suit this next time by.
33's in as well, behind the 84. He's always been one of the early takers on pit road. I'm not going to miss
Silver's down
the
as
pit
well.
stall shot this time. We're going to see the pick through this
Oh, it's gonna
time.
be
See it in
beautiful.
action.
We're going to have some audio. Let's go in the cockpit view and let's listen to those air wrenches. Yeah, we have, this is our very first camera shot of a pit crew on V-Speed, and I love it. I need that in my life. I would love to see that across the board.
And he's away. Let's find that 08 car. Entering his stall right now, so we'll see where the blend is, but that was the battle for the lead just before the pit stop.
I think Cunningham might have entered pit road a little bit slower. David Farmer 86.6. He was cautious down pit road. He also had Cunningham all over his back bumper as he entered the pits. So let's see here.
08 is coming out of pit road right now. 84 is entering in the middle of 1 and 2. It's going to be really close. Not quite enough. 84 has got him out of pit road. Now the fight starts over again for the 08.
And they got a lap car in front of him. That's going to help the 08 of Cunningham. But he meets up with the 24 of Iverson at probably the worst part of the racetrack. Now let's see if Farmer on fresh tires can leave the 08. This is not quite the stint that Cunningham had to start making up that ground. We're going to have about 20 laps remaining, or 30 rather. And so this is not quite the length that the 08 was really in his prime. I'd say with 10 laps to go in the stint, so 30 laps in, that's when the 08 really turned up the heat. He's going to be right on the edge of that. He's going to have to stay close to the 84 this entire run if he wants any chance. And it's not looking that way as he stretches it out to almost 0.8 of a second. I think Farmer knows that. He's on the same page with us.
Yeah, the good news for the 08 is he's not going to have to work around the 33 this time. That last run where he worked all the way up to the 84, he had to pass a car and then make up 4 seconds, I think, 3 or 4 seconds. So now he can see the leader. He's within a second. He's got to bide his time, keep pace, and then hope that those tires work into his favor like they had been previously in the race.
Yeah, and Farmer maybe had an opportunity to repair a little bit of that damage while the pit crew was working on that. Probably not much, but I'd say there wasn't much damage to that car. That brief brush with the wall, probably only, a couple seconds of damage to the right front. So they might have been able to pull that fender out, get the thing straightened away, and let's see what Farmer can do here as the lead stays right around the 0.8 of a second mark.
Our points leader right now is going for a pass on third, trying to keep that gap there. He's got third over the 33 car. So move Penn up to P3. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up. Oh, he's in the fence a little bit off of 4. Looks like he's still able to keep it going, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch our top 2 to make a battle out of it, but this is a good points mitigation sort of day when he wasn't the fastest car.
Yeah, and going into Martinsville, you just don't want to be in that situation where you lose the points lead and you have a driver like David Farmer who, I know this is your first time watching these guys, but I know for a fact that David Farmer is no slouch. Watching him in the Wednesday Night Cup Series, he's one of the top 3 drivers every week that we have to keep an eye on. He's right up there in the caliber of what James Silvers can do. And so these drivers all competing every single week, and then they do it 3 times a week. That battle for the lead, though, is cooking.
Don't look now. The 08's there. He's going to try and make a pass here. I don't think he's going to have forward momentum. Oh, he might. 84 lets him go. That's the wise move.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
I don't think I expected that with less than 30 to go. I thought there would be a little bit more of a fight, but David Farmer, I guess, sees the future here. Just easier to let that go. Cunningham going to take over the lead on lap 134.
You know who's loving that? Besides the 08, obviously. The 30 is probably doing a little happy dance in his chair right now, seeing that he's only 1 spot behind the driver who's second in points.
And catching him.
Yeah, Farmer's big time off the pace here.
Yeah, something's wrong with that car. I would say that damage has not been fixed. It is still there. It was such a light tap with the wall, too. I'm surprised that it caused as many problems. He is probably 2 or 3 tenths off of what he was running at the beginning of this race. And it could be he's clutching this car. Something going on here. If we can ride on board with Farmer, listen to his entry into the corners. He may have forgotten to take fuel or had auto fuel. He's shutting the car off.
That will account for the lap time for sure, because he's 4 tenths at least off the pace, closer to it. half a second that lap. That is very interesting. Big development here.
I would have to say that Auto Fuel probably got involved with this situation, and now his lap counter's probably telling him he's 4 or 5 tenths of a lap short. He's going to have to save enough to make it to the end. And while he's doing that, the lead grows to 2.1 seconds. Daniel Cunningham is gone.
And the 30's not far behind. He really wants this spot. Gets an extra point.
So he had a brake cut out to him there with the 8 of Caustic and the 13 having some issues. Was able to recover the lead. He comes out ahead, just far enough ahead. But now has to start saving fuel. Cunningham gets around him, and he's got the points leader, the guy that he's trying to shave points off of. I know he's still going to gain a couple. If he can stay ahead of Alex Penn, he will shave probably 2 points off. But he's got to stay ahead of this 30 car. And with him saving fuel, I don't know how he's going to end up doing that. Penn probably not going to press the issue too much here because they could both end up screwing up their day.
Looks like fuel saving is over because Farmer is closing back in on the 08. It's down to 1.8. It was up to 2.3. So he's got half a second back over the last few laps. Maybe he just needed a couple laps saving fuel to make it work.
And that might have been where the difference was. 84 getting out ahead. He might have taken a little bit less fuel. And we know that a lighter car is a little bit faster when it comes to speed. It does handle a little different, but that weight reduction, 2 or 3 gallons could turn into a tenth a lap.
Yeah, it definitely could. And not only the speed on the track, but the speed in the pits, right? You're sitting in the stall for a second less. That's 1 second you make up on your competitor without having to do anything. So a little clutching might be worth, that second in the pits.
A lot of math going on, and that's the difference between having a full team of, 16 to 17, 20 people and what you do on iRacing. Because most guys are out here by themselves. They have to do all this mathematic equations while simultaneously driving the car. And that's where I feel like iRacing can be more difficult than an actual race, because you don't have a full team funding and backing you throughout the entirety of the race. You really do have to do everything. And Farmer doing it all right here, paying attention to his telemetry, paying attention to the tires, working out the times that he should pit when he shouldn't. Cunningham in the picture here at the final of this race. We've got about 15 laps to go. Does that sound correct? No. 13 laps to go. Let's go with that. That lead is stopped shrinking, 1.8 seconds. So maybe Daniel thought, well, I stretched it out this far. Maybe I'm overdriving my stuff. Maybe he didn't realize that Farmer was saving fuel, so he backed it up a little bit, and now he realizes, hey, he was bluffing.
A lot of games can be played when you're chasing down the leader, or you're the leader driving away. You can kind of change what you do a little bit to confuse the drivers around you. We're all trying to do that math, like Bradley mentioned. A little curveball here and there can definitely change how a strategy works.
The worst math you can ever do on the racetrack is watching that relative the entirety of the race. I know guys like to do that. They like to look up in the mirror, but really it boils down to what's in front of you and being consistent. Pay attention to your own personal lap times. The rest will fall in place. Daniel Cunningham with about 10 to go. Looks like he might pull it off here, as that lead is staying right around 1.8 seconds from David Farmer. Alex Penn Justin Ray and James Silver's the top 5. 3 cars have retired early from this race here tonight. Michael Kostick, who led some laps. Little trouble involved there with the 13 of Brian Terry. Then you have Scott Fritz, and I'm not exactly sure what happened to the 01. He was up in the top 5 at a few different points in this race, but the 01 is off the racetrack. And then Lucas Lyons into 25. I believe Lucas Lyons was one of those cars that was involved in that only caution we've had here tonight. And if we can bring our race recap up on the screen. We've had 1 caution here tonight, and apparently 2,147,000. I don't even know what that number is.
Yeah, we have an integer overflow situation here. That's a lot of
lead changes,
and they're negative too. I don't know how that works, but oh jeez.
Gotta love ATVO. One day they'll work that out.
Someday.
Well, what I can tell you is we're approaching the white flag. 10 to go.
Lead is up to about 2 seconds for the 08. Then it's Farmer, and then the 30 of Penn has fallen quite a ways off of Farmer. You can see it on the shot here. There's 3 cars spread about equidistant apart. And a big gap back to Ray in 4th. He's had a pretty good last stint here. We haven't talked about him at all today, and he's sitting there in 4th place.
Yeah, Justin Ray found himself after those pit stops up there in the top 5. Somebody that's going to be under fire here very soon is Jimmy Allen in the 6th position. Looks like Andy Kurtz chasing him down. But yeah, back to what Justin Ray, and we can just talk about while we watch this battle. We really only talked about him as he came down pit road, and he cycles out to the top 5. The 38 car, phenomenal job. It's just what it boils down to is he was on and off pit road a little bit faster than these guys outside the top 5 right now. Andy Kurtz about 0.2 of a second. He'll be the last car on the lead lap. Tony Iverson going to get a top 10. And that shows you how competitive they've been as the pass for the 6th spot changes hands back on a crossover here for the 99. As they come down to the very end, you will press the issue here. Jimmy Allen not able to hold the nose down, gets really loose off of 2. Looking like he's probably lost that 6th spot permanently as they grow about half a second apart. So did you expect the 08? We usually like to do a little pre-race questionnaire. I like to ask who's your pick before the race. But I guarantee you, neither one of us thought the 08 car was going to come up here and find himself in the lead. I don't even think he might have found that was the case. You had Kostick and Farmer that just checked out from the field. Even after we had a caution, they did the same thing.
Yeah, I've been impressed this 08 ever since that second run. He was able to work his way through traffic up to about P3. And then since then, he just hasn't really gone away. Obviously, he's up in the lead now and staring, 5 laps away from potential win here. I mean, I can't argue with anybody who's decked out in Kyle Busch gear, obviously. But
and it's a throwback Kyle Busch.
It is. I like that. I like that. It took me a while to realize that there's a lot of Rowdy Energy stuff and 3G stuff on that car right there. But he is fast right now.
I don't think I've ever seen a Rowdy Energy CarQuest logo, but that is well done. And a Kellogg's on top of that.
And the pet hospital as well that Kyle Busch had on his truck in 2017. So this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there, but you try to keep up with all that. We're going to take 2 to go. I was personally a fan of the Terry Labonte paint schemes. So to see that combined with current Kyle Busch and past Kyle Busch, that's a lot going on. 2 laps to go here. David Farmer 2.7 seconds back, and he does stay ahead of Alex Penn, who falls 1.5 seconds. The split all the way back to 5th position is over 10 seconds to James Silvers. White flag up in the air. One more time around the egg-shaped oval, the 1.32 mile Darlington Raceway for Daniel D. Cunningham. And he is most likely sealing this deal. The remaining laps led for the 08. He's going to total out somewhere in the 30s. He got ahead of him just after the last set of green flag pit stops. Daniel Cunningham going to win here tonight at Darlington Raceway. The Bluegrass Xfinity Series is going to go to its final stage at Martinsville, and the 08 is going to get the win. David Farmer, Alex Penn, the top three. And this is normally the point where I talk about post-race interviews. But I think we take a quick commercial break. We'll come back, bring you your race recap, and we'll talk a little bit about the final stage of the playoffs and the schedule. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series, or Bluegrass Xfinity Series. I knew I'd make that mistake at least once here tonight. You're watching Bluegrass Xfinity live on V-Speed. We'll be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live at Darlington Raceway. It was an excellent race. A surprise win here for Daniel Cunningham after a dominated race by David Farmer. He led the most laps here tonight. He started on the pole, but ultimately it came down to the pressure that was put on him by Michael Kostick. David Farmer makes a slight mistake, gets maybe a little bit of damage, has to save fuel, and Daniel Cunningham finds himself on top here to win the third to last race of the season. David Farmer second, Alex Penn third, Justin Ray fourth, James Silver's going to bring it home fifth. Take it away, Morgan, on that remaining field.
In 6th place, Andy Kurtz. 7th was Jimmy Allen. 8th was Tony Iverson. 9th, Brian Terry. 10th was Michael Cole. 11th, Michael Kostick, who had a really great race. Unfortunately went awry. 12th was Scott Fritz, and 13th was a 25 of Lucas Lyons.
So again, an amazing race that, you know, it just goes to show you how competitive this league was all through the season. And the surprise win, guys that just never quit the entirety of this race. Well done to Daniel Cunningham to get that win. I know that we've got a blank screen here for a moment. I think the replay is finished. Let's take it over to B-roll.
We're back.
There we go. We're back. So we had a little issue on the technical side, but let's get your post-race here and then your final thoughts, Morgan, on what went on here tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun race. I mean, I wish I could have been out there. I really love this racetrack, Darlington. It's fun to watch drivers race around this place. And awesome job by that 84. The 08 came up and stole it, and tough break for the 8 car.
Great tough break for the 8 car. Even I would say even a tougher break for David Farmer. I know he ends up with a second place finish here tonight, but you put it back to what these guys have been through all season long. It really comes down to the very end of the race. Mitigate those mistakes, put the whole thing together. Well, here tonight at Darlington Raceway, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We're going to be back at Bluegrass this week. Tonight, we're going to be VSRN for the Bluegrass Truck Series. Make sure you guys catch that race at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're down to the final 2 races, Martinsville Speedway, and then going to Homestead after that to wrap up the championship. I'd like to thank Morgan Cook for doing a phenomenal job here with the production team and putting this all together live on V-Speed. If you guys enjoyed the broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single race. We bring you the remaining of Bluegrass and their season. But for everybody at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, Alec Martinez, and Connor Horn, we thank you for watching tonight's broadcast. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you here in just a few hours on VSRN.
Hopefully that worked for you. I tried. I really did.
What happened there with the
end?
Yeah.
I hit B-roll no music, and there's no iRacing on that one.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's what it was. Let's do it again. Yeah, I was just trying to get it so that
Go ahead and delete that scene. Go ahead and delete that scene. The B-roll new music.
Okay, I'll get rid of it on my stream deck too. Yeah, that's my bad.
Okay.
But I think it went okay. Things to work on, obviously, but yeah, cool. I can close OBS and ATVO and all that stuff.